Hi guys, so today we're going to do a little writing lesson. And actually in morning meeting today, I brought up our writing and I talked about, reviewed our idea of how-to books, and I went through everyone who's submitted ideas so far, like how to tie your shoes, how to microwave a lunch, how to draw a dolphin, how to ride a bike, how to wash the dishes. So all these great how-to books, and we talked a little bit about it, but we're going to review some of our writing ideas in a writing class today. So here is, I'm going to read you some story, but no pictures, and I want to see if you guys can figure out what this how-to book is teaching you. So I'm going to do it just in the steps, like tell what to do in steps, but there's not going to be anything you can see, so see if you can figure it out just by listening to the steps to what kind of how-to book this would be. Step 1, first take the cover and pull it up. Make sure you hold it with 2 hands. Step 2, then you smooth it out to make it smoother. So we already have 2 pages, right? If we're going to start a new one, let's start again. This would be step 1. First, take the cover and pull up. Make sure you hold with 2 hands. Step 2, then you smooth it out to make it smoother. Step 3, next take the blanket and pull it out with 2 hands. Step 4, then put the pillows up with 2 hands, stuff it up. Step 5, put the stuffed animal on. Anyone have any guesses on what kind of how-to book that is from following the directions? Can you guess? How to make your bed. So I hope everyone can use those directions. If you're not making your bed, or if you don't know how, a how-to book on how to make your bed is a perfect idea. So today I want to teach you that how-to writers don't just reread the words, touching them with a finger or a pencil. How-to writers also reread to check that their writing makes sense. So it's really important when we go through our stories that we're reading it to make sure it flows, to make sure we're using the right words, to make sure we're not missing anything. We want it to make sense. To do that kind of rereading, writers reread maybe to a partner, maybe a writing partner, maybe to someone at your house, or even to themselves to make sure it's easy to follow steps. So in all writing, it's really important to reread to make sure it makes sense. But when we're trying to teach someone to do something, it's important that we reread to make sure all the steps are there. Could you imagine if I wrote how to make Rice Krispie treats, my example from earlier, and I forgot to melt the marshmallow step? What if I just did step 1, get the ingredients, step 2, melt the butter, step 3, put in the Rice Krispie cereal, step 4, put it in the pan, step 5, eat it. When you cut it, it's all gonna fall apart because the marshmallows is an important step. The marshmallows is like the food glue to hold it all together. So if I don't tell you to melt the marshmallows and mix it in with the Rice Krispies, my Rice Krispie treats are not going to come out. And if someone's like, oh, I'm going to try to make them, they're not going to be very happy with their product. So we want to make sure, especially with how-to books, that each step is teaching people what to do next, next, next. So I know we've had a couple examples that we worked on so far in writing. I read how to make pancakes, and the next one, the one I'm going to read today, is how to make lemonade. So if you have one of these books at home that you haven't filled in, it's a perfect day to maybe start writing some of the sentences. First, pick lemons from the lemon tree. Then, cut the lemons. Next, squeeze the lemons. Then add water, sugar, and mix. Finally, add ice and drink. So in these examples, they use a lot of connecting words, which we've talked before in even reading some of our connecting words. Like you might start with the words first, to start, then maybe in the middle you'll use the words then, next, after, and then to wrap up your story at the end, you could say finally, or at last, or in the end. Those are ways to signify to the reader the progression of your steps. Now this is one that I wrote, so now I'm going to reread it and see if maybe I could add anything, if I left something out while I'm rereading to see if I'm missing something. How to make apple pie. Go pick some of your favorite apples or buy at Trader Joe's. So maybe I should suggest a flavor apple. Maybe in my opinion, this apple works the best. Or I could even tell them an amount of apples, like to make one pie, you need 5 apples. So go pick some of your favorite apples or buy at Trader Joe's. You will need 5 big apples. So go pick some of your favorite apples or buy at Trader Joe's. You will need 5 big apples. Next, wash your apples. You will peel the skin and cut them into small pieces. What could I add there? Oh, how about like a tip to be careful with the knife? I want to make sure if someone's reading my how-to book that they stay safe and no one gets hurt. Careful cutting the apples and make sure you cut away from yourself. Just like when we use scissors, right? We cut away from yourself. Then put all in a bowl with sugar, cinnamon, and apple pieces. Mix it. Maybe I want to say I want it mixed thoroughly so all the apple pieces are coated. Make sure all the apple pieces are coated with cinnamon and sugar. After, roll out your pie crust and build your pie. Oh, you know what? I didn't mention how you have to do to close your top of your pie. To close your pie, pinch the edges to make sure it seals. That way your pie doesn't fall apart in the oven. Last, put it in the oven to bake. Yum, yum. And now maybe I could add something there like, I like my apple pie with vanilla ice cream. I like my hot, because I like it still hot and warm, hot pie, apple pie, with vanilla ice cream. Okay? So I just did a perfect example of what I was talking about, how I went back through and I reread the whole How to Make Apple Pie book to see where I could add things that might make it easier for my reader to understand. So you want to reread as you're working to make sure you don't leave anything out. And it's important to remember that you guys are in charge of your writing. You're the boss of your writing. So the information that you think is important to share, you should definitely share. So I'm excited to see your progress on your writing and how your how-to books are coming along. Okay, good job, writers.